Hey, welcome in everyone to Dom Time. With me tonight, Greg Quinlan and Troy Stevenson. And I couldn't find two guys that have more gone back and forth here in New Jersey on this issue of same-sex marriage and related issues, including gay conversion therapy that we've been talking about. Troy, one other area, where do you see this headed? Will this be on the ballot in November, as I think I'd like it to be in New Jersey? Give people a chance to vote on it.
I do not believe it'll be on the ballot.
Why not?
I believe our legislature believes, as we do, that the rights of the minority should not be put to a vote of the majority. It's not something, and if they also have seen what happened, the vitriol that come from the opposition, their children have to listen to their parents being called horrendous things on the television. They put up these ads that tell blatant lies about our community.
Wouldn't you think that New Jersey, though, would overwhelmingly support this, though? What's the fear?
I think that New Jerseyans are fair people, and it's not a fear.
Okay.
It's not fear. It's the idea that the majority should not be voting on the rights of the minority. That's not something.
But that's not what your colleague in the legislature says, Reed Gusiora, who supports
I am not an elected official. He's not my colleague.
Okay, but someone who would be on your side of the issue. He wants to put on the ballot. What we have here is a political division within inside the Democrat Party, where Steve Sweeney, the president of the Senate, doesn't want to put on the ballot because he put himself in a box earlier in the legislature and said it was a civil right and not to do that, which I absolutely disagree. It's not a civil right.
Okay, let me ask you both, and Troy, I'll start with you too. How much of this civil right thing turns on whether you believe being gay is a choice or not a choice? Doesn't it turn on that?
I think most people believe that it's not a choice. I know our governor believes it's not a choice. I know that the majority of the population believes it's not a choice. Medical experts believe it's not a choice.
There are no replicated scientific studies supporting any specific ideology, for homosexuality. There's zero evidence.
I got to tell you though, Greg, I would ask you, given what happens to a male in our society, still somewhat today, if they are gay, why in the world would you make that choice?
Because you don't make that choice. Your feelings, you don't choose your feelings. You choose what you do with them. And we need to let children, especially, and adults have all the information.
You're admitting it's an immutable fact.
I'm admitting that no, feelings are no. That is not what I just said.
You just said it's immutable.
Immutability means that you were born that way. You can change your feelings. You can decide what you want to do with them.
Greg, is that your story?
Exactly. I lived a homosexual life as an out and open homosexual activist.
And why did you do that? Why did you do that?
Well, I came from what was called the typical family, dysfunctional family. You know, I had an Archie Bunker for a father who beat me up on a regular basis. When I was 10 years old, I was sexually molested by a boy across the street. That's my story in a nutshell.
Do you feel guys like Greg are doing damage to people that are gay?
Greg is allowed to say whatever Greg wants to say. It's a free country. I was not molested. I was not abused. I had a great family life.
Right.
I am a proud gay man, and it has nothing to do with any abuse. I was 8 when I knew.
Okay, let me go to another caller. Arthur has been waiting. Arthur, you're on Dom Time with Greg and Troy. Go right ahead.
Thank you. I heard Troy say something about blatant lies about the community when Greg said something, and I'm kind of wondering, how does he justify the blatant lies that were given at the New Jersey legislative hearing by Brielle Goldani, who basically made up a full hoax story about being tortured, and now everyone finds out
Brielle was
this was
not
all baloney.
lying. I don't know where they're coming up with this.
Okay. All right, guys, thanks, Arthur, very much. You know, I can't arbitrate that here. It's a little bit of inside baseball for viewers. So let me move on. Let's talk about Pennsylvania. Your sense in Pennsylvania, if this were put up on the ballot today, polling indicates same-sex marriage would pass. I believe it would not. What do you think is going on in Pennsylvania? Pennsylvania is a pretty good bellwether because we're not in Mississippi. We know where that is. We're not in Maryland or California because we know that's solidly in the camp of seeing this as a civil right. Any sense of states like Pennsylvania?
I believe the majority of Pennsylvanians, I believe the majority of this country believe in equality. They believe in rights for everyone. I once again do not believe people should be putting this on the ballot.
But they do. I agree that people believe that in equality, they believe in civil rights, but they need to know the truth that homosexuality is not a civil right. It doesn't meet the legal definition of a civil right. It is not innate. You aren't born that way. It is not immutable. You can change. I did. And again, the other test for this is whether the perceived minority has the right and has the ability to defend themselves and to get their statements out. And we wouldn't be having this discussion now if the homosexual activists could not have done that.
The language Greg is using is the same language that's been used since the beginning of this country for every minority that's ever existed. This is what they say. They don't deserve rights. They don't deserve this. They are not as good as. as. They are not equal. They don't deserve
And
equality.
so,
This
okay,
is the
with black
same
racial
rhetoric we've
party,
been
these are
using
people
for
who are
years.
born their color. I'm born my color.
And
You're
I was
not
born
homosexual.
gay.
No, you weren't.
Yes,
you
I'm
can't
sorry.
prove
Wait a minute,
that.
wait, Greg. How can
Where's
you,
the gene?
How can you tell him that? How
Well,
can you
that's
tell
the
a guy
point.
believes
Where
it?
is it? Where's the proof? Where's the
Okay.
evidence? Come
All
up
right.
with it. We've had all this rhetoric. We have all these scientists who've come with it. Usually they're gay scientists.
Right.
Always been able to debunk them. And like several have actually outright lied and have been removed
Okay,
from their...
let me take another caller from you guys. I think somebody who believes or is a gay man calling this. Michael is next. Michael, you're with Greg and Troy. Go right ahead.
Hi. I was with my partner for many, many years, and he passed away. I had no legal rights to anything he owned except we had a will. And I had to worry about his family coming in, taking everything away from me.
Mm-hmm.
If he was married, if we were married, I wouldn't have to have worried about this.
All right, hold up with that. Greg Quinlan, I mean, that certainly should be
There
fair.
are a number of legal instruments where anyone, you and I could buy property together. You and I can start a business together. There are so many legal instruments for two individuals of the same sex or opposite sex to do the kind of things this gentleman is
Would
talking
you be
about.
okay with civil unions then? What would be wrong
But
with
they're
civil
already
unions?
civil unions. They
But
already exist.
ironclad, elevated civil unions, but below the
I just
sacrament of
believe
marriage.
that civil unions is still a way to chip away at what society needs, which is basic man-woman marriage, which is what we need for families. It's the basic societal construct, and
Troy,
we shouldn't be
What
abusing
he's,
that.
what he's saying is this man should have to be taxed extra. He should have to pay extra to get the rights that he should have for being in a relationship.
You're taxed
and at the
more
end
to
of the
be
day,
married.
that-
When
at
your
the end of the day,
marriages
at
are
the-
taxed
you
more.
spoke. At the end of the day, we have marriage in this country. 9 states and the District of Columbia allow marriage. It is a reality. It's a reality that people need to accept. We deserve equality.
So we
and
must
that's-
be forced
this
to
is-
accept your
We're
reality.
not forcing you to do anything.
Yes,
we
you
want to
are.
be allowed
You're
to live
demanding
our
that
lives.
no one's stopping you from
How is
doing
it
that.
affecting you in any way, sir?
It does affect us because
How?
it affects society as a
How?
whole. It affects the way children
How?
are being raised.
Children are being raised?
Oh, no, they're not. Straight heterosexual parents are losing their children to gay couples. There is a case right now in Texas where that is happening.
Well, wait, let's hold up. Now, thanks, Michael. Thank you very much. What are you saying here, Greg? What are you talking
In
about?
Texas right now, there is a case where a man, it's his biological child,
Right.
through a surrogate, and with his partner never adopted the child, the
Right.
man decided that he wanted, that his child, his son, deserved a mother. He left the homosexual lifestyle, is now married to a woman, and the courts have taken that boy away from him and his wife and given it to his homosexual partner.
Let me stipulate. Let's say that's true. I'm not sure if it is or not. Do you really see this widespread threat of a guy like this wanting to be with someone in marriage?
And
What
how
is
do-
the widespread threat? I think O'Reilly's question was a good one because I oppose same-sex marriage, but I'd admit O'Reilly said that this side has been more compelling so far.
I don't know how that's true, how it could be more compelling, except maybe they've had more airtime.
Okay, all right.
I don't see how
So
it's
you say they're
compelling.
not winning. They're not winning the hearts of men. When you look at 18 to 49-year-olds, somehow or another, this
The
same-sex
polling
marriage,
data by some of the polling companies,
even
by,
putting in the bias, I got to tell you as a communicator, I think 18 to 49-year-olds, I think they're moving forward.
what I find is from 18 to 20 to 30-year-olds, as they grow older, then they come to traditional marriage, natural marriage, instead of homosexual marriage.
Okay, so you haven't accepted this as a fait accompli. It's only a matter of time. Do you see it that way?
It's here. It's the new political reality. It's the reality of life. This has been going on. People have been in relationships for hundreds of years. It's time to accept it. It's time to allow people the dignity that they deserve.
And you still have that dignity.
How?
And you can have it without marriage.
If I'm not as good as you, how do I not have
You're
dignity?
not as good. I know whoever said that.
You just said I'm not as good as you.
No, that's not what I said. That you are making a definition.
Do you see Troy, let me interrupt, Troy, as a biased, someone like me who opposes same-sex marriage? Am I a bigot? Am I biased? Am I
You're
homophobe?
allowed whatever opinion you want. Just get out of my way and let me get married. That's all we're saying.
And there we are. It's about the narcissism of a homosexual lifestyle to get out of my
It's
way.
narcissism to wanna get married.
I demand my
It's-
rights. You must change the entire
You know what,
construct
in
of
our
society
no.
to accommodate what I want.
How
it's all
does
about
it affect
me.
anyone other than me
We're
if
back-
I
It
want to get
does.
married?
It absolutely
All right,
does.
we're back
But
to
we've
the-
answered that question.
No, you
just
haven't.
don't like the
You
answer.
danced around the
no,
question.
I didn't.
We're-
It has
we've
to
yet
do with
to
family.
answer
Excuse
It
me,
has to do
Greg.
with children.
We're back to the starting point. We're flat out of time. I know that we have to do this again as it comes up, and we'll see how it plays out in New Jersey. Pennsylvania and gay conversion therapy comes up around May, June for viewers.
Should
for a
be,
vote.
yes.
You both agree on that?
Probably.
We'll see something like that. Gentlemen, thank you. Thanks very much for joining
you,
us.
sir.
Next, my thoughts in Dom Time after this tonight. Straight ahead. Hey, today is opening night in baseball, opening day in baseball. Phillies opening night. I'm back from chilly Florida, tough work, covering the Phillies, covering Charlie Manuel, Dave Montgomery, and others. And I have to tell you, it's an organization in town that you can be proud of from Dave Montgomery on down. When I talk with him, it's remarkable, the politeness and just the great work that the Philly staff that I witnessed do up and down the line. My tip of the night is this. If you ever have the opportunity, like next year, talk to Montgomery about this, Bright House Field and the Phillies is just a party down there. People come down, they leave work a little bit early on Friday, and they're back home by Sunday night, take in 2 or 3 games, have a great time. Bright House Field, can't be missed. And there's even a Wawa nearby now. Now, you know, if you go to Florida, you got to go to a Wawa. So great things for the Phillies this year. My view is they look to be improved over last year. Howard, Chase Utley look a little bit better. I'm going to go with 88 wins and a wild card berth. But the bottom line, you're a winner if you have a chance to take that Florida trip, even though it was a bit chilly. It's just a wonderful time. I met families and others that do it every year. You'll really enjoy yourself. And Dave Montgomery, great organization all the way up and down. Go Phillies. Keep it up. Keep on making us proud here in Philadelphia. Great show tonight. Back next week with you at 7 p.m. on Dom Time.